Colleagues who compete can also cooperate. It's not a contradiction. We oftentimes think that competition eliminates cooperation. We compete in the market, but we can cooperate in technology. Every company surely has its weapons, but not everything is unique. Speaking of this, consider the Japanese auto industry. The Japanese auto industry can hold such a large global share because they compete while also cooperating. Recently, a few auto companies have been in talks with us. News will be released. Choosing a partner is easy. As long as you are willing to give your all and make necessary adjustments to the chassis, with a few tens of millions of yen, you can basically shake it off. Based on the next generation of electric cars, the cars must match this, so this will definitely take some time. During the oil and electricity transition period, all kinds of pressure will accumulate because fuel trucks can make money, and they also fight price wars. This will definitely affect new-wheeled vehicles. Everyone needs production technology, so at this stage, I think such price wars are very normal. We don't need to feel that we shouldn't raise prices. This is a normal business process. But I think in the end, it will return to the essence of business. Let's first talk from the perspective of the battery swap station. The investment is actually good. If we have 60 orders a day, our battery swap service itself will make money. What is the concept of 60 orders? During this year's Spring Festival, our busiest station serviced 195 orders a day. We now have almost 20% of the battery swap stations in the country reaching 60 orders. Which is the most open company in this regard? China is actually the most open market in the world. In China, you can buy brands from any country in the world, but when Chinese companies provide services to users in other countries, there will indeed be all kinds of threshold landmines. But there's nothing to complain about. If we want to enter the global market, definitely need the capability to connect with various countries in different regions, regardless of regulations. Without the network, you must have such a docking capability, so it will definitely take time. But I believe that with time, China will definitely be able to outcompete Japanese and Korean companies in global competition.
In the next 8 years, there will be over 19.4 million vehicles, and the battery warranty for new energy vehicles will expire. Now, even if you have a large 30 kilowatt-hour battery for your hybrid plug-in, it will cost you around 60,000 to 50,800. If it is a 40 kilowatt-hour one using quality ones, will cost you around 80,600. If it's for a purely electric vehicle, it will even be more expensive. And currently, most are being offered an 8-year warranty with a few tens of thousands of kilometers. If these 20 million vehicles are to be considered, each of them would need to spend around 60,000 to resolve, and the subsequent issues to address would then exceed $1 trillion. That's why resolving the battery life issue is of great urgency. Because if you don't resolve it today, you'll have to pay the price in 8 years. A couple of days ago, we had a strategic communication meeting about long-life batteries, and we have clearly defined the technical and operational goals for future long-life batteries. That is 15 years lifespan, which is basically a reasonable cycle of a car's usage. Mileage concern-free means you don't need to worry about mileage in the future, as this big balancing act can be done by changing batteries. So really, you need not worry about mileage, as the mileage issue is solvable. At the end of battery life, the health level should be greater than or equal to 85%. That is the goal we need to set, how we need to define this matter. Hence, we believe that this is not just our concern, but it is an issue for the entire industry. Like last year, we opened our battery swap network to Chang'an, to Geely, as well as to Chery and Jack, and we have recently had several car companies join us.
Yep, you heard that right. The CEO said they recently had several other companies join them. And even last year, late last year, they said that they had several other companies that they had agreed with, that they were going to partner up with, but they have not yet announced to the public. And of course, for a long time, we've been speculating that Mercedes was one of these partners. And for a short while, the NIO fellow sales reps have been advertising and telling people that, hey, Mercedes even chose us and they're going to partner up with us. So the sales reps in China and also in Europe were saying that Mercedes was going to partner up with NIO. But I guess what investors should really do is change their expectations from these partnerships. I think investors are thinking that these partnerships will bring a lump cash amount to NIO. But we've seen recently in the earnings report, the CFO said that this year, most of the swap stations will be public swap stations built by the partner brands, saving CapEx. So this is where we should really look into and see and keep our expectations at. These partnerships will bring less cash burn to NIO with these infrastructure deployment, and they'll be using NIO's patents and will definitely bring some extra revenue to NIO. But one thing we're noticing with global companies around the world is that people are switching away from EVs due to the inconvenience of EVs, and hence more auto companies are putting more emphasis on gasoline vehicles, or hence pulling the plug on their EV projects. And this could also mean that, well, it is also rumored that Mercedes is pulling the plug on their EV project and going full gasoline. And like the NIO CEO said, making gasoline vehicles are a lot more profitable than making electric vehicles. You heard that right. And this is why a lot of companies here in China are also making gas vehicles, or hybrid vehicles with big gas tanks. But even the government, all right, local provincial governments here in China have realized the importance of battery swap. And during yesterday's live stream, all right, just yesterday, Shen Fei, the head of NIO Power, confirmed that in Hefei province, in Anhui province alone, there will be over 1,000 new swap stations deployed, public swap stations deployed by the government. And this has been like a very big thing, and that, of course, that could be used by both NIO and sub-brand, sub-brand, partnership brands. They can all use those swap stations. So that is just amazing news as well. Not only auto companies, but also provincial governments are joining in. Remember, most people buy a NIO because of battery swap. Otherwise, they probably buy some other vehicle that has more comfort or has better specs or cheaper price. Most people that choose NIO choose battery swap for the convenience, etc. And as the number of swap stations grow, and NIO, spending some money on it, but also these partners and governments, they're spending money on that as well, there will be more public recognition of battery swap, which is what we desperately need for more sales. And as time goes on and more of these partnership swap stations, these provincial swap stations get deployed, then we're going to see this become public knowledge. And that's when sales are going to absolutely just, people are going to be choosing NIO because of the convenience, right? Also the sub-brand and sub-brand, you have a car in every price category that can do battery swap. There's no excuse that NIOs are too expensive. Oh, well, if it's too expensive, you can go get Le Dao Envo. If that's too expensive, you can go get the Firefly sub-brand, which NIO CEO said he himself will personally buy. So definitely hang in there, guys. There are so many new partners coming up, and the CEO is going to announce them one by one as the time becomes necessary. As always, stay safe, stay healthy. Peace out.